The one thing I guess that a lot of people should understand, that Nevada has the one and the only extraterrestrial highway in the world.
In 1996, the state of Nevada officially dubbed Route 375 the extraterrestrial highway due to the countless sightings of UFOs reported by residents and visitors to the area.
Look at that, isn't that great? Look at that! Yeah.
The whole UFO and alien connection to Area 51 can be traced directly to one man, MIT graduate and physicist Bob Lazar.
The Area 51 story at first became public, to the public eye, in 1988-89, when Bob Lazar came out with his story that he had, in fact, worked on alien spacecraft at Area 51.
When Lazar went public with his claims, the media went wild.
It took me 7 or 8 months to talk him into sitting down for an interview. And when we finally sat down, he told me the most incredible story I've ever heard as a journalist. That he worked at an area called S4, south of Groom Lake. That the facility was built into the side of a mountain to make it disguised. The hangars were disguised to look like part of the mountain. That inside this mountain were a series of 9 different hangars, and inside each of the hangar was something that looked like a flying saucer. He saw one of them fly in a test flight. While at the base, he was allowed to read several briefing documents, which indicated that these were of alien origin, so it was a pretty fantastic story.
But Bob Lazar's claims did not convince everyone.
He may have seen something that he kind of portrayed as being alien because maybe it didn't fit his normal description of what would be a Department of Defense or Department of Energy piece. I've been out there. There is no UFOs. There's no aliens. There's nothing like that there. This is a top secret facility, but not for that type of thing.
The Bob Lazar story can leave one very schizophrenic. There's a lot of good evidence that he's telling the truth, but my sense is that things did not happen as Lazar says.
But whenever you want to make a Bob Lazar, he is the springboard that just launched this spooky base into the public eye.
Within months, thousands flocked to the Nevada desert to search for strange objects in the sky.
It looks like it's flying, but it's changing shape.
The concept of visitations by extraterrestrial beings has become a large part of popular culture. It's drawn hundreds, perhaps thousands of visitors out to an area of the desert that ordinarily would be avoided by most sensible people.
That's Bald Mountain. On the other side is Groom Lake.
Not surprisingly, reports of UFOs and bizarre creatures from other worlds became almost commonplace.
Bright star. Holy sh! Come here, look at this. No, it's not. It's got 2 lobes on either side. 2 very distinctive lobes on either side of it. Come here, look at it through this. Come here.
It may be that people want to believe that we're being visited by beings from an advanced civilization.
There's supposed to be some nasty ones here now. The reptoids. The rumor is, allegedly, they're coming from 100 million light years out. They're making that time jump.
That's what I saw. Yeah. That's cool. That is so cool.
The sudden interest and influx of tourists into the area helped transform the nearby town of Rachel, Nevada. Once just a tiny dot on a map, Rachel has become a mecca for believers and non-believers alike.
People come out here in a search for the meaning for life. They want answers to things they can't find anywhere else.
Many of the curious drop by the Little Alley Inn to escape the desert heat and swap stories of close encounters of every kind.
I don't think there's a day goes by that we don't hear something from somebody.
A lot of people have actually worked at Area 51, and they have told me that they worked with beings who were from another planet. And they said there's more than one kind.
A large and a small-nosed grave, a reptile, an an orange, a blue, and the humanoids. I don't think that there's yet a complete story on what may be over that hill.
I, in my heart, would like to think that there are aliens in Area 51, but I don't really believe it until I see more. But it's a great subject for motion picture.
As executive producer of the blockbuster sci-fi thriller Independence Day, Bill Fay encountered a rather odd official response when he sought the military's technical support in making the film.
We had a meeting with all the branches of the military and Department of Defense representatives, and they said, we really like this script. You know, this portrays the military in a very good light. We like pretty much everything about it except for one thing. We want you to take out all the references to Area 51. We're sort of surprised. We weren't sure where that was coming from. The whole point of the film is playing off on the mythology of Area 51, and that really strikes a chord with people, obviously. So it's something that we couldn't possibly change. I mean, it was an integral part of the story, and we sort of told them that, and they said, okay, we can't help you.
Why is the military so concerned about aliens and Area 51? Ironically, in August 1997, after decades of denials about everything from the U-2 to the Aurora, the CIA made a shocking admission.
There was a CIA report released that admitted that the Air Force has used UFOs starting from the 40s, 50s, 60s on to the present as a cover story for some of their activities.
According to the CIA's official statement, thousands of UFOs reported by eyewitnesses were merely covert test and reconnaissance flights.
When you compile a log of the flights of the historic U-2, the SR-71 and its predecessor, and Tacit Blue, which led to the development of the stealth fighter, the hero of the Gulf War, you will have all of the UFO sightings in Area 51 accounted for.
But why allow the rumors of UFOs and aliens to run so rampant?
The CIA spends over half of its budget in counterintelligence and disinformation activities. The idea being, if we can tie up the enemy and get them to waste their energy and resources chasing down things that don't exist, then that's a way that we can get an advantage over them.
So if you dismiss these claims as being claims of UFOs, people will not investigate them further. It was a very clever cover story.
Many believe that the recent admission by the CIA is nothing more than their latest bit of disinformation intended to cover up the truth about UFOs and Area 51.
There could be aliens, there could not be aliens, but the reality is there is a major facility there. There's no doubt about it. You can just look over the mountain and see it.
What has happened at Area 51 is that in an attempt to keep the facility as secret as possible, they have actually made it as famous as it could possibly be. It is now practically a household word.
And all of that attention has put this once inconspicuous and unassuming installation on the map for just about anyone to find.
And this is where the government goes when it wants to be alone. You know, despite our best efforts to peer into it, and despite trying to track down people who have worked there and have seen things, it's still a very black place.
Locating the top-secret facility is fairly simple, but getting inside is an altogether different matter.
There is no fence surrounding the Groom Lake area. There is a border. It's poorly marked, but it is defined by a number of orange posts.
It's ringed by mountains. It's very hostile. If you're out here during the summer and you don't drink a couple gallons of water a day, 2 or 3 days, you're dead.
And if Mother Nature isn't enough to deter the persistent trespasser, then the ever-present and far-reaching security system usually does the trick.
Behind me right now are 2 men who are security guards for the secret base, Area 51. They're up there watching us, watching everything we do. They have high-power binoculars. There are several remote TV cameras along this ridge line. The whole area is sewn with magnetic sensors and electro-optical trip sensors, and perhaps they're even listening to us right now.
the area around the base, even on public land, is laced with road sensors to detect vehicles.